Hi, welcome to Got a Form for That, and thank you for joining me again. We have some more Michaelmas forms today. In fact, we have three. I have 3 circles ready to go. So if you have your graphite pencil and a piece of paper, you may draw circles. If you have a compass, you may use a compass to draw your circles. And we can get started after we say our verse. O victorious spirit, flame through the impotence of irresolute souls. Burn out the egoism, ignite the compassion, that selflessness, the life stream of humankind, wells up as the source of spirit rebirth. Now I want to give you forms for this verse. So let's get started, and with our graphite pencils. First, I'm going to be using blue for all of the forms, and then I will show you how you can also put color on it. You may want to work with the forms just in blue for a while and choose a blue that doesn't have any green sort of tint in it if you can. This works very deeply on the inmost being and strengthens the I am. Okay, so our first form we're going to do over here. This is the verse, or the part of the verse that goes with that is, O victorious spirit, flame through the impotence of irresolute souls. And the victorious spirit we are addressing is Michael. So draw the circle and find the center. If you've used a compass, that's very easy. And then we'll put a dot here and a dot here. And then we're going to draw a kind of boat shape or a leaf shape. On either side of that line. The line coming down here is not part of the form, but it will help us to draw the form because this is symmetrical vertically. Okay, and then we'll draw a small circle in here inside the leaf shape. And now we've done the simple part, and this next part is a little harder. It's a figure 8, but there are some special characteristics to this figure 8. It's kind of like a butterfly. And there we are. That is the form. For tracing the form, which you would do 3 times in the morning and 3 times in the evening, will be this order. We have this line first, then we have the butterfly shape to trace, then the circle in that direction, and the leaf shape like this. So for tracing, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I will place the numbers and little arrows at the places where I start the form and where it was indicated for me to start the form. Sometimes there was no indication, and so I'll mention that if that's the case. But I think in all three of these forms, that is indicated. All right, so that is, O victorious spirit, flame through the impotence of irresolute souls. The next part is burn out the egoism, ignite the compassion. So in this case, the egoism is this really a force that in a way presses on us, and especially in our very materialistic society that believes that what you see is what you get, and that there isn't really anything beyond that. And that is, the approach of, well, many disciplines in our culture. And so to fight against that, because it is it's oppressive to the spirit, is to be aware that the spiritual world is right with us all the time and interpenetrating us. So if we can burn out the egoism and ignite our compassion that lives in our hearts, and it's placed there by the spiritual world, and we need to awaken that, then we can be a blessing. Okay, so there are some interesting things about this form, particularly. It's very very involved. So we're going to do 2 dots here. This form kind of has like 2 wings, and they are connected in an interesting way. So we have these 2 dots up here, and then if we do 3 small dots down here below the halfway mark. So if you find your halfway mark along your line, and then put the 3 dots, they should be equidistant from each other, down here, then it will be easier for you to draw this form. All right, probably best to watch carefully and then try and draw. So here we start, and we're going to bring a curved line here, and then bring it through this dot, not the center, but this lower one. So here we go. And then we come through all of those dots like an S, and then we follow the line, the line of the circle. And now we have drawn half of our wings. It doesn't even look like a wing now, but there are no wings. But if we keep going and go back the other direction, you will see the wings. Now we're going to make a curve out here. We want it to be about the same distance from that center line as this curve here is. And we're going to come through that dot. And again, we're going to wind around and come all the way up to that point. And now you can see our wings. We have 2 lovely wings here. And then we can play with the line and make it the way we want it to. Oh, I did that in yellow instead of blue. Anyway, not that that really matters, but that actually is good, because then I'm going to go over it in blue so you can see the movement of the line. So here we go. Starting here, and now we come down through that top dot, then through the middle dot in the other direction, and through that bottom one. We're not touching the circle on the outer circle at any point. Now we come down here. There. All right. And now we have another form to place right here. So this form has its nadir down in this area. So really between this top point and the middle. So we're going to put a little line there. And then the top just needs to be, within this space. So it's not touching the 2 sides of the wings of the form. Okay, this will remind you maybe of a heart in part. So we're going to start here a little above the halfway point with a loop, and it's going to come around that, not all the way, just a little bit across that middle line through this dot, and then down to that mark that we made. And we're going to come back up, loop through here, and then end at that point. Okay, now this should be going like that. So we'll work with that. Okay, we started here, making a loop, coming around down to that bottom part, and then coming through here, and then finishing at where we began, right there. So we end up with this little heart-shaped thing here with a wand inside it. And I'm going to bring that line up a bit. So there we go. Like that. All right. So the whole shape is there. And that is the form. So really there are sort of two forms. Well, just like there are three forms in here, there are two in this one. And the order to trace them in is this circle going clockwise, and then we begin with the wing shape here, just the way we drew it as we were practicing. And then here we will start at this point here. So in order to trace the whole form, we do our circle, our wing construction, and then our little heart with the sort of teardrop at the bottom. And again, to work with it, we would do this 3 times in succession. Or if you want to work with a whole verse, you can do this once, and then the next one once, and then go back and do it. All righty. So here we go. Now, this next one, oh, this is again, burn out the egoism, ignite the compassion. And the last part is that selflessness, the life stream of humankind, wells up as the source of spirit rebirth. So we're going to have another interesting overlapping construction, but it's not really like wings this time. So we have our circle and we divide it in half with that line. And we bring, we find the center, and we have actually the line that goes right through the center, just like in the first one. So we have a dot here at the center, and then we put a dot just underneath the circumference of the circle. And now we can draw our very first shape, our first form. So this goes just following the line of the circle all the way around. Whoops. And then we go through here and make a loop in this area that's large enough to put something else in. So see how this goes. I've started here, and because when tracing it, we will go the other direction. I'll just do it that way. We come down here, make this loop, fairly large loop. We come under the loop, we don't cross it. And there we have our first shape. Now, out of the center of this lower loop is going to come an upward pointing teardrop. And the teardrop is slightly indented. It's slightly indented here as it comes to this point. And then one more thing. Put a little dot here. And we're going to go round. This time the dot has no indentation, or the teardrop. But we do have two teardrops here. We have this one with the indentation, slight indentation or curving inward. And then we have this little one here that does not have that same characteristic. All right, and that's selflessness, the life stream of humankind, wells up as the source of spirit rebirth. Okay, so to trace these forms in colors, once you've worked with them in blue, maybe for a week or two, then you can put colors on them. Now, the reason you might want to work with these past the date of September 29th, which is Michaelmas, is that Michaelmas is actually a season. It's not just the day. The day is the commemoration of Michael's slaying of the dragon or transforming of the dragon. Both need to be done. We both, in our lives, we need to not only slay our dragons, but also transform them. So, yeah, the meaning of slay in this case is really kind of like disorganize. We disorganize and throw into kind of chaos our demons. Then we take all that substance and we can transform them. That's sort of what's going on a spiritual level. So Michael is also doing that, helping us with that on a world scale. Now, so if we've worked with the verse in that way for a week or two, we can put colors on the lines, and or if you wish, you can start by putting colors on the lines. That's fine too. So you select your own colors. I'm just going to select a few here that I feel like using right now. And I'm going to put different colors on each line. What this does for the human being, as opposed to using the blue, is strengthen the ego sheath. There are two that Rudolf Steiner talks about the ego sheath, and in two different ways. One way is, the physical body, the etheric body, and the astral body make up this whole ego sheath, this protection, a place for the ego to live. The other way he uses this term has to do with the coming together of the astral and etheric bodies and where they touch. And this is actually where your self, your true self, your true personality, your individuality lives. It has all the memories of your past lives and all that you have experienced. So that's what we are strengthening when we use different colors on the forms for each line. Okay. Little victorious spirit. Flame through the impotence. Of irresolute souls. Burn out the egoism. Ignite the compassion. as I didn't put our directions on this one, so I will do that now. For tracing, first the circle and then this large lobe shape, and then the larger teardrop, just the way we drew it actually. That's the third one, and then we come around with this one as the last. So we have selflessness, the life stream, of humankind wells up. Do that one more time. Wells up as the source of spirit rebirth. There we go. All right, so here we have all the forms for this verse. And we have our verse, victorious spirit, flame through the impotence of irresolute souls. Burn out the egoism, ignite the compassion, that selflessness, the life stream of humankind, wells up as the source of spirit rebirth. And that is a verse for Michaelmas by Rudolf Steiner. So have fun with that. Enjoy your form drawing, and I will see you next time after Michaelmas, or maybe just before the end of the season. The season lasts for about 4 weeks after the celebration of Michaelmas. So enjoy that time. It's a beautiful fall time, harvest and leaves changing color, at least in my hemisphere. And even in California, these things happen. So enjoy that, and blessings on your Michaelmas and on your transformation. Thank you for coming. And my website is www.lauraembry.com, and I have several form drawing books for sale on my website. If you are ordering from outside of the United States, please contact me first, because the shipping is different from what it is in the United States. The booklet that I am taking the forms out of for the YouTube right now is called Volume 8, Restoring Forms. This is a book that has forms really for all the festivals of the year, and I'm going to be sharing some of the next forms with you during November, because Advent begins, and I'm welcoming you and asking you to join us for that time, that beautiful Advent pre-Christmas time. Thank you.